Did I hit the wrong button? Try it again. Okay. That was interesting. All right, good evening, everyone.
Try it now.
Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the May 12th, 2021 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission, and it's now being called to order at approximately 7:01 p.m. This meeting, like so many others, is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current and ongoing state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Furthermore, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting on the town's website, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. So for this meeting, the Conservation Commission is convening by remote participation for the public only, although some staff are physically located in the Selectmen's meeting room in Town Hall. Those town employees are practicing social distancing in accordance with the governor's orders. For the public to join the meeting remotely by telephone, you may call 1-408-860-3123 and enter access code 942-845-549. Or the public can join via computer at gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. The remote access information has been posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. And please note that this meeting is also being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. So accordingly, for those members of the Conservation Commission, employees, and members of the public who participate, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. So with regard to tonight's meeting, all supporting materials have been provided to members of the commission and are available on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. So we are going to shortly turn to the first item on tonight's agenda. Before I do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. So I, as chairman of the commission, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions, and please hold until your name is called. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. And for any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. And if members wish to engage in discussion with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After commission members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. I will first ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only, and once the chair has a list of all public commentators, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. And finally, if to the extent that we take any vote this evening, it will be conducted by roll call vote. And before we begin, let me determine who is actually here to participate tonight. Tom Fallon?
Present.
Allison Holmes? Allison? Are you there, Allison? All right, we'll come back to Allison. Nathan? What do you think?
Try again.
Okay. Allison, are you there? I can't hear anything. Oh, she's talking. Can't hear her. Is the volume turned up? Allison, can you hear us? Because we cannot hear you. She's not muted. Oh. That's weird. Okay. Well, we lost caller too.
How do I turn that volume up?
I thought it was an icon on the bottom. The mic is shown as being off.
Yeah, we want the mic off.
Right. That's weird. There we go. All right. Okay, let's...
Try again.
Allison, if you're there, can you please indicate by saying aye?
Indicate by saying aye. Indicate by saying aye.
I can see her. She's there. We see you, Allison. That's so weird.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. And there's a feedback loop too, which is
Yeah,
weird.
that's why we can't have the sound. Usually we don't have the sound on this.
Okay. Says audio not connected. How can that be? Is it my phone? It's all right.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
We can.
I'm getting a very bad echo.
How about now? See if she can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now, Allison?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Try now.
All right. Try again. We know you're there. It says we may need to restart it. All right. Why don't we do this? Richard,
Just redial this.
can we go off air until we resolve this, Richard?
Want to go off the air?
I do.
One second.
We'll be back momentarily. All right. Allison, if you can hear me, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Nathan, are you here? Nathan? Can't hear Nathan. Patrick, can you hear me?
I can. I am here. I could not hear Nathan.
All right. Nathan? Try again, Nathan. If you can hear me, please indicate by saying aye. Okay, Nathan, so we can't hear you. You might want to check the volume control on your laptop. I mean, I know coming from me that sounds pretty funny, but it's a possibility. So if you would, just see if you can check your laptop. And if you can hear us, please indicate by saying aye. Okay. Nathan, if you would, log out and sign back in, please. The other thing is that we're not getting any video feeds from anyone. Caleb.
I'm guessing they don't have their cameras on. We can't control that.
Okay. For those of you that do have cameras, if you could turn them on so we can see you, that might help things.
Yours is not either.
Oh. Okay. All right. Nathan,
Nathan, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
yes, we can. Outstanding. All right. Okay, so we have a quorum, and we also have town officials and employees participating. So when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Building Commissioner Caleb Moody. Here. Land Use Clerk Ginger Buto.
Here.
All right, let's get this show on the road. The first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing. Paul Eterno, a request for determination of applicability to cut down a tree at 197 Rochdale Street in Auburn. Is there a motion to open?
So moved, Tom.
Is there a second?
I'll second that. This is Allison.
Okay. And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
And I also signify aye. Okay. Mr. Letourneau, are you present, sir?
I am.
All right. So again, I apologize for, we haven't had any technical glitches up until now, so I apologize for the delay. So, and,
No problem. I hope it's not me jinxing it.
well, sir, me too. So in any event, as you know, Mr. Letourneau, I was just at your house about an hour ago, looking at the tree, and it's the situation is exactly as you described it. It's a fairly tall tree. I don't know how tall it is, but it seems to be it's tall, maybe 80, 90, 100 feet tall. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it's a tall tree. It stands by itself. It stands on the bank above a wetland area, and judging by its appearance, it looks like it is in danger of becoming a hazard at some point. You advised that the tree cutter that you are going to hire has described bringing in, I guess, a crane to take or cut down the tree piece by piece, starting from the top, and that all of the branches, the tree trunk, and all the components of the tree will be removed from the site. Is that right, sir?
That is correct.
Okay. I'm satisfied by what you need to do, given the circumstances. So I'll just ask if any other members of the commission have any questions for you. Tom, any questions?
No questions.
Allison, any questions for Mr. Letourneau?
Nope.
Nathan, any questions for Mr. Letourneau?
No.
And finally, Patrick, any questions for Mr. Letourneau?
No.
Okay. There being no questions, then, is there anyone from the public that has any comment on this? All right, there being none, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the public hearing. Tom?
All right, is there a second to that motion?
I second, it's Pat.
Thank you, Pat. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. All right, it's a vote. Mr. Letourneau, I anticipate that we will be making a decision this evening, and you will be notified. So thank you for your participation, and we will get back to you soon.
Okay, I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda was a 7:05 public hearing for Alliance Environmental Group, a request to amend an existing order of conditions for periodic on-site vehicle washing at 33 Sword Street. It's my understanding that the applicant has requested another extension. Is that right, Ginger?
Correct.
And will that be until May 26th?
It'll be May 26th at 7.
So, because the applicant requested the continuance before tonight's meeting, we do not need to file a motion or vote on it, so that matter will be continued by agreement to May 26th at 7 p.m. The next matter on our agenda is a 7:10 public hearing, Tech Associates for request of determination of applicability for vegetation control along the Providence and Worcester Railroad right-of-way in Auburn. Is there a motion to open?
So moved. Tom?
Is there a second?
I second, it's Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Good evening, Mr. Lewis. How are you tonight? Can you hear me, Mr. Lewis? Apparently not.
He can hear you, we can't.
Okay, you can hear me, but right, okay. So,
Suggest you log back in again.
okay, so Mr. Lewis, you may want to log back in. Log out and then log back in. Or you can just listen. Oh, he's going to do it.
Mr. Lewis, the gentleman from Maine,
Yes, well, actually, he's from,
but he works, yeah.
I walked the railroad with him on
I
Saturday.
remember a couple of years ago, there was a thing, and he sent a link, and I copied and pasted it. It kept coming up the wrong page, and it has to do with the way when you scan a document, for whatever reason, instead of coming up like www, it'll come up with www with 2 V's, and that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard, but that's what was happening.
Okay.
But
Okay. Waiting for Mr. Lewis to log back in. Unless he chooses not to. And who can blame him, right? No, it's fine. All right, he has not come back. He may be having technical difficulties, God knows we did. I will say, though, that Mr. Lewis and I did walk, he's back. All right. Mr. Lewis, can you hear us now? Mr. Lewis, can you hear us now? Can you speak? Yeah, okay. We can't hear you, though. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I know, right, exactly. So I'm going to just tell the members of the commission what you and I did on Saturday, that we walked the right-of-way. And if there's anything I say that you don't agree with, you can shake your head violently. I'm assuming you won't. Okay, so anyway, and, let's be serious for a moment if we can be. So Mr. Lewis and I actually did walk the right-of-way of the P&W Railroad in various parts of Auburn. He wanted to show me those areas that will not be sprayed with the herbicides. The markings that are shown on the plan that was submitted replicate what appeared in the field precisely. Based on that, I'm satisfied that the herbicides will not be applied in those sensitive areas, certainly within our jurisdiction. Would you concur with that, Mr. Lewis? And you can indicate by shaking your head if you wish. All right. Thumbs up is even better, all right? I would ask you, if members of the commission have any questions for Mr. Lewis, you could pose them, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to respond.
No questions.
Okay. Allison, or let me put it to you this way. Do any members of the commission have any questions for me that I might be able to respond to?
Yeah, I do actually. The site plan, page 1,
Yeah.
it appears like right in between the 66 and the 65, there's a wet area, right, that crosses the railroad there. Is there something that we're not seeing?
Actually, no.
Because just from the site plan, it looks...
In fact, the areas that we walked are not wet at all. There may be, it might refer to a culvert that passes underneath the railroad, but there is absolutely no wetland that immediately underneath the tracks, or that would, I think that's what you're referring to, and the answer is no, based on our view of the conditions there.
And then again, at the very south by Oxford, it looks the same, where it looks like it's going into a light blue area that has wetlands. I don't know, just from the map, it looks concerning.
And
obviously,
actually,
I didn't walk it with you guys.
And that's one of the reasons why we want to walk it. And so, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Clearly, I can represent to you that there are no wetland areas near the railroad tracks, or that close to the railroad tracks, as the plans may seem to indicate.
And it was like a 25-foot buffer or something, or less? I forget what.
In some cases, it's actually more, depending on what the wetland area is in the vicinity of that particular crossing.
Okay, fantastic, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Mr. Lewis, have I summarized what happened on Saturday accurately? Okay. Do I get a thumbs up, sir? All right, thank you. All right. If there are no other questions, then is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing, Tom?
All right, is there a second?
I'll second this, Nathan.
All right, Nathan, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Hi.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. So, Mr. Lewis, the public hearing is closed. I anticipate that we will make a decision this evening, and you will be notified. So thank you for your participation and your patience with our technical issues tonight. Okay. Good evening, sir. It's like trying to do it in pantomime, you know? The next matter on our agenda is a 7:15 public hearing, Eastland Partners for a notice of intent to construct a subdivision at 50 and 190 Washington Street in Auburn. In that case as well, the applicant has requested a continuance to our next meeting of May 26th. What time, Ginger?
7:15.
So that will be rescheduled for 7:15 p.m. During the past week, a filing was brought to my attention, and somehow it got misplaced. So apparently back in February of 2020, months ago, there was a request for an extension permit for Pondville, Eddy, and Auburn ponds with respect to pond management, monitoring for basically algae growth and that sort of thing. For reasons that I don't understand, and I don't think any of us really understand it, the request for extension was not placed on our agenda, and apparently, at some point, the applicant from Solitude Lake Management contacted the commission and inquired about the status of the filing. So, in any event, this is a request for an extension permit. We issued the original permit back on May 10th of 2017. The request for the extension was filed in a timely manner before the 3-year period ran. And again, if members of the commission had an opportunity to read the cover letter from February 20th of 2020, would explain what the purpose was, or what Solitude Lake Management does, what their management program entails. And so based on this, is anyone here on behalf of Solitude Lake Management? So apparently no. So in any event, I think the request for the extension permit is a reasonable one. As I indicated, we did approve the permit back in May of 2017. So I wonder if there is a motion.
I'll make a motion that we issue a continuation of the extension of the permit for Pondville and Eddy Ponds. And can I make that motion for 3 years from today, or do we need to go back a year?
I think that's a great question. There's no question that the request was filed in a timely manner. The permit was due to expire back on May 10th of 2020. I think, in all fairness, the permit should probably should go back. I mean, we can make it effective as of May 10th of 2020. We can put that provision in the extension.
Okay.
So I think the 3 years actually would run from May 10th of 2020 through 2023.
Okay.
So in any event, there is a motion. Is there a second?
A second, it's Pat.
All right, Pat, thank you. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. So the extension will be granted. Okay. Members may recall that for 23 Boy Street in Auburn, we received a complaint about tree cutting. When I went to the property, I found no evidence of tree cutting that was in a wetland area, but I did see that the property owner, or someone on behalf of the property owner, thank you, had started to apparently channel the stream on the property using what appeared to be wooden pallets. No one had filed with us to do that activity. It wasn't clear what the intention was to put in those pallets, and so I did send a letter to the homeowner at 23 Boy Street. They were asked to respond to us for tonight's meeting, and my understanding is that they didn't contact the town hall. Is that right?
They have not, no.
Okay, no one contacted me. So I guess I would inquire among the commissioners what you'd like to do. Tom, any thoughts about this? I mean, it seems to me we invited them to come and explain to us what they were doing. The letter, I think, was pretty clear. They chose to ignore the letter, it seems to me. I mean, it also seems to me that the pallets should not remain there. I would be inclined to issue an enforcement order, but that's just my opinion. Allison, what do you think?
I would tend to agree. I think this alteration is certainly significant, and, they need to know that it's not okay, for sure.
Okay. Nathan, what are your thoughts?
I would agree that an enforcement order isn't appropriate.
Okay. And Patrick?
I also agree that an enforcement order is in order.
Okay. So what should we ask them to do, and when should they come back to see us? Do we want them just to remove the pallets, or do we want them to come up with a plan to remove the pallets?
Through the chair, I'd like to, I don't think they should remove the pallets because it looks like they're into the water, and I think if they do that, it's going to disturb what's there and do more damage than good. But I do feel that we need to get them to come to the meeting, or at least go online and explain to us like what their intent was and what they're doing, because we don't know how far those are buried in there. They could have put it in when it was dry years ago, who knows?
That's absolutely right.
If they did remove them, I think it would definitely do more damage than good, because it looks like they're in there pretty good.
Okay. So an enforcement order. Go ahead, Allison.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, did it seem like the topography was changed at all, or like that they had moved soil behind that wall? You know what I mean, to kind of...
Questions?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I mean, I think it was even suggested that maybe they were trying to divert the channel, but frankly, I don't know that we have enough
Right.
information, And to be honest with you, I think it probably bears another look. So we might want to consider
True.
going
I
back
wouldn't-
to the property, I mean, I would prefer that the property owner, know we're coming and maybe even walk the property with us. So.
Yeah, and explain what was their thought process.
Right. So it seems like there's a consensus that an enforcement order should be issued. I guess the question is what, and I think Tom raises good points about if we tell them just to remove those pallets, that it might cause more damage, which we want to avoid. Any suggestions about what, when we request them to come and see us, that they be prepared to talk to us about what their intention was?
I would agree. I think it can be as simple as that for now, and if we don't get a response again, we can consider other actions.
Okay. All right. So will someone make a motion then to issue an enforcement order for 23 Boyce Street?
Tom, I'd like to make a motion that we issue an enforcement order for 23 Boyce Street and request respectfully that they come to our next meeting or attend on Zoom and be prepared to just explain what their intent is and what they've done there. And we need to know if those are full pallets going down a full 4 feet, or if they're cut in half or something, and not to do, and in the enforcement order to word it not to do anything to the channel as it is now, but to come in front of the board and explain what's going on.
That's a good idea, cease and desist. Okay. That's Tom's motion. Is there a second?
This is Allison. I'll second that. Can I add that, are there any down gradient property owners that have been affected by this that we could tell, or has it just been changed on their own property?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean,
Okay.
not that I'm aware of. And to be honest with you, I don't know who actually filed the initial complaint. And I think the complaint may have actually
Right.
been made to DEP, not to us. So, because it is rather close to the Worcester town line, our city line. So in any event. All right, so there's Tom's motion. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll still second that.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I was going to add to it.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye, so I will provide some language to you in that
Okay.
order. Okay? So that the motion carries and an order will be issued. With respect to 498 Rochdale Street, I have not heard anything from DEP. We have not heard anything from the Worcester District Court concerning a hearing on the fines. I will speak hopefully to Ms. Coyle next week, or maybe even tomorrow if she's around, and see if the town has received any word from the district court on a new hearing date. We got a letter, or actually, there was an email that was sent to, I guess you, Ginger, on or about May 4th, with a complaint concerning trails around Darkbrook. And the complaint basically is that people throw their trash there. And, you know, it's certainly a concern. And I think this has been a problem sort of on and off over the years. And apparently, so the complaining person was Julie Carlson. And I guess Ms. Carlson actually she prepared something, and she wanted to know if it could be posted.
She wanted to post it herself.
Right, I understand that. And so, I mean, I think, you know, what it is, it's a notice basically, I think, trying to shame people not to throw their garbage in the area of the trails, and I think it's laudable. People should not be doing that. I certainly have no issue with her posting these notices. I don't know if any of you had an opportunity to look at the notice in your packets, but I think it's succinct. I think it gets right to the heart of the issue. And again, I have no objection to her posting it, especially since it's in an area where she frequents and she enjoys using the trails. Tom?
Yeah, I'm familiar with this place since I was a kid. I've camped there a couple times, but we didn't do a lot of the things that are listed in here. It was just kind of a good, cool place to go. But I absolutely agree that I would love to see her post this out there and let people know, like, that if they continue to abuse it and not take care of it, that their right to use it's going to be taken away.
So I'm not even, I mean...
I don't know from a legal standpoint what, I mean, the Auburn Water Authority owns it, correct? Auburn Water District, I'm sorry.
You raise a really good point, so maybe we need to reach out to Ken Smith and ask him what he thinks. So why don't we do this? I have Ms. Carlson's, I don't know if she's listening tonight or not. I don't see that she is waiting to be heard this evening. But we can get in touch with her, and maybe it would be a good idea for her to speak to Mr. Smith. You know? Okay, and that's what we'll do is we'll continue this to our next meeting, and I will make a point of contacting both Ms. Carlson and Mr. Smith and try to get his input on this. Okay. And then we have meeting minutes to go over. And I did go over them. And not to prejudice anyone, but I did review the meeting minutes for November 18th. I did not have any corrections. I don't know if anyone else had any corrections for the meeting minutes of November 18th.
Chair, Tom, I have no corrections.
Okay. Allison, any corrections?
No.
Nathan, any corrections?
No.
Patrick, any corrections?
No.
In that case, is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes of November 18, 2020?
So moved, Tom?
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second. This is Nathan.
All right, Nathan. So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye, so that motion carries. The meeting minutes of November 18th, 2020 are accepted. The next set of meeting minutes is from December 9th of 2020. I also reviewed these meeting minutes, and I did not see anything that, to my mind, needed to be corrected. I'm going to go through this again. Tom, any corrections?
No corrections.
Allison, any corrections?
No corrections.
Nathan, any corrections?
No corrections.
Patrick, any corrections?
No corrections.
All right. In that case, there being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. It's a vote, so the meeting minutes of December 9th, 2020 are accepted. The next set of meeting minutes is January 13 of 2021, a shorter set of meeting minutes. I again reviewed these, and I found nothing that needed to be corrected. Tom?
I concur with the chair.
Okay. Patrick, any corrections?
No corrections.
Nathan, any corrections?
No corrections.
And Allison, I believe you were absent, so you don't really can say.
I need
Yeah, I'll abstain.
I made motions.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
There being none, is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes of January 13, 2021? All
So moved, Tom.
right, is there a second?
I'll second. This is Nathan.
All right, Nathan. All those in favor signify by saying aye, unless there's an abstention. Tom?
Aye.
All right. Patrick?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
And Allison?
Abstain.
All right, and I vote aye. So the motion carries. The meeting minutes of January 13, 2021 are accepted as written. And then finally, the meeting minutes of January 27 of 2021, and I did have some minor changes. So on, it's actually item number 5, Washington Street, and it's below discussion between board members. It's, the way it's written is, Thomas Fallon made a motion that we make a recommendation not to exercise our right of first refusal for the land. I think it's more appropriate to say, Thomas Fallon made a motion that the commission make a recommendation not to exercise the town's right of first refusal for the land.
Okay.
Very minor detail or change. Tom, you have any corrections? Okay. Let's see. Allison, any changes?
No.
Patrick, any changes?
No.
Nathan, any changes? Okay. In that case, is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes for January 27, 2021 as amended?
So moved, Tom.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Nathan.
All right, thank you, Nathan. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye, so the motion to accept the meeting minutes of January 27th of 2021 is passed. I believe that is it, unless...
We have one item, the 7 o'clock, we have to make the request.
Thank you.
Determination.
Actually, we have two items.
Two, yep.
So with respect to the request for determination of applicability for 197 Rochdale Street, is there a motion?
Make a motion, we issue a negative determination for the applicant Paul Letourneau's RDA for 197 Rochdale Street.
All right, is there a second?
I second. Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Right. Patrick?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I also vote aye, so the motion carries. And then for Tech Associates, the request for determination of applicability for vegetation control along the Province of Worcester Railroad right-of-way. Is there a motion?
Make a motion, we issue a negative determination for the applicant's request for vegetation control on the Providence and Worcester Railroads, Tech Associates.
All right, is there a second?
I second. It's Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Tom?
Aye.
Allison?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. The motion carries. Okay. And does anyone have any new business? There being none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting?
That was Tom. Is there a second?
Second, this is Allison.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. Thank you very much. Thanks for putting up with our technical glitches at the beginning of the meeting. We will see you in 2 weeks. Have a pleasant evening.